let me ask you a question. So have you ever had this moment where you go to the store and the guy at the store says, if you want to buy this bag, just make sure that this bag doesn't have, it's made from this material and has double stitches because these are the things that usually break. And you will go like, oh, really? Oh, now you need to pay attention to those things, right? And so what happens, on Amazon is that it's the same way. You can make people dependent on the information you have. And so if you hear something useful that will avoid you to make a bad purchase decision, then you are going around looking all these products now from different perspective. And now if you, let's say, take this backpack problem, right? So you want to buy a backpack for your child, and the guy says that make sure it's from nylon and make sure it has double stitches like on the bottom and blah blah. And now you go around and look at all these bags, like, is there double stitches or is there a nylon, right? The same thing with the phones, right? So when you buy your cell phone, your mobile phone, obviously you need information before you make a decision, right? So you want to know, okay, so much space does it have? Does it already have 5G, right? Of course, Wi-Fi, like what's the, like all these stuff that you need to know in order to make a decision, right? So my question to you guys is really simple. Do you know every aspect of your product that, let me scroll down to the, do you know every aspect of your product, what the customer needs to know in order to make a smart purchase decision? What is that will help them? And compare your product to others. So basically, my question is really simple. If you want to sell something on Amazon, do you know exactly what your customer needs to know? Like in order to make smart purchase decision. And the second thing is compare your product to others. Really simple, right? So because people are comparison machines, obviously they don't just go to press one listing and then they buy it. I mean, I have done that because, sometimes you just buy something small and you just don't care, right? But usually people tend to look at what they are like buying, right? And they're usually jumping from one listing to another before they make decision. And they also read usually bad reviews before they make decision as well, right? And so, really simple question. Are you helping your customer to make smart purchase decision, or are you trying to sell them something? 99%, I would say, like, not 99, but basically all the new sellers, like all these people who try to sell on Amazon, they are like thinking like, okay, so I need to convince someone to buy my product. I need to give those beautiful copywritings, those beautiful text there, like this fancy words, like, oh, join now. Oh my God, you feel so amazing. This product is solve all your problems, la, la, la. All this fancy stuff. You know what? We've been testing to eliminate this fancy stuff the last few months, and it works really good for us. For example, I'm not trying to sell anything anymore. I'm simply don't try to sell anything. I'm 100% focused on value. Like 100%, I focus on the value. And so how do you do that? Like, how do you actually focus on value? How can you make your customer to feel that you are actually helping them to make smart purchase decision? How do you systematically do that in order to have clarity, power, and action plan? Because the worst thing that can happen is that when you're trying to write your bullet points or trying to make an instructions for the copywriter or whoever writes the bullet points, and same thing for the images, you're writing the instructions for this graphic designer, then you need to know what is going to put there, like what is going to be on the images, what's going to be on bullet point, what's going to be on headline. How do you do that? And if you don't know how, then you lost out. It's really like shooting darts in the dark. Like, I'm gonna win, like right? Ain't gonna happen. So anyway, so what I want to say is that nowadays everybody is trying to sell, and you will be so much more off if you stop trying to sell and start giving value. And you actually don't want wrong people to buy your product, because what happens is they will refund and they will give you bad review. So you actually want exactly the right person to buy your product, the right person to give you review, because you don't want wrong people to buy a product. So how do you do that? Okay, let's cut to the chase. Look, let's stop. So let me give you a stupid example. It's really effective. I'm going to show. I'm doing this stuff really mostly to just systematize my own business, right? So I need to systematize things and create these tables, create these tools, because I want my employees to just do the stuff systematically. Otherwise, they're working in the system, not on the system. But I want people to work on the system, so I'm helping to create more systems. So this is the system. Again, your systematic approach, how to create bullet points, images, and copyright it. So think about, okay, you did this research here, right? So I went through the blueprint already. A lot of people know about that. So there was like this one, like, what's the biggest complaints, fears, and fears about the product. By the way, let me know if you don't see my screen, if I'm choppy or whatever. Just write something in the chat box. Otherwise, I just don't know. Maybe I'm speaking to myself. Nobody even hears. So after you made this research, and by the way, you have to do that. If you don't do that, it's not so smart, right? So you wrote down those biggest complaints, fears, feedback. We went through the Q&A, stuff like that. And just not complaints, fears, and feedback, also like questions, right? So after you've done that, at least 30 to 50, you categorize them, right? You categorize these issues, right? So and when you have categorized all the negativity and all these things, the next question is like, by the way, how can I improve them, right? So if you don't have a product yet, then this is your opportunity here. This is your pure gold here. What are the quality issues you found? What are the usability issues you found? What are the instruction issues? What are other issues? What are these issues you found? So if you have already found issues on the market, now there you go. Now you know what you should do in order to have an amazing product on the market, like how to bring product to the market which will crush the competitors, right? So you improve something on these areas, right? And then you bring new versions of the product to the market, and boom, you go here. But anyway, you made research, all these issues, also who is buying, for who they buy, why they buy, where they use it, all the imaginary reasons, occasions, events, situations, all that stuff. You made all this research, right? And now the question to you guys is really simple. What is that useful information for the customer that they need to make a smart purchase decision and compare your product to others? Really simple. And you have to know these things, because from these things, you will create a list. Let me give you an example here. So everything here is like an example. So don't pay attention to what's written here. Let's go through everything one by one. So for example, let me delete this stuff completely here. So for example, features. What are the features people like, right? So people want, let's say, like when you buy a mobile phone, it's like Wi-Fi, right? Like maybe like storage, right? What else? Screen size, right? What else? 5G, right? What are the things, if you buy a mobile phone, like everybody are comparing to others, right? What are these features, right? So now, usually measurements, what kind of measurements like your product has? Like sometimes it's really needed if you have measurements. If you don't have measurements, fine. No need for measurements. People don't care about measurements on my phone, on my product, fine. What about materials? Does people need to know anything about different materials that you have? Like, is knowing anything about materials makes them to compare your product better to others or make smart purchase decision? We had some wooden products, and there was like different wood has complete difference for quality and usability, and so we have to write here, like, for example, I wrote here like having this wood makes this product so much better because it costs la 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 la. Again, capacity, like do you have certain amount of items in a box? Maybe you have 12 items, maybe you have 20 items. Maybe, like, what are the things you need to know? When I was selling honey, I had to put the kilo price to the listing headline, and because people they want to know how much does it cost per kilo, right? What's the kilo price, right? Maybe about how to use your product, right? And then you have to just think about what are these elements again that help your customer to make smart purchase decision and compare your product to others. And that's why we had this number 2 here as well. What are these must-have attributes, features of the product, standards on the market, like what are these things? And so when you write down all this small stuff here, let's go for best for what kind of problems, right, your product is, best for what kind of occasions, best for which kind of occasions, like there was one hairbrush. People are asking in the questions, people are asking, is this hairbrush good for curly hair or long hair, like straight hair, right? And then nobody's answered. But if people are asking this question, then obviously this is what helps that they want to know that, right? Like best for what kind of people, again. And then how are you better than competitors? Of course, like how do you differentiate yourself? You write down one sentence at a time, right? And if you have done these, if you know these information pieces, this little piece of information that is important for the customer to know, then you will just allocate this information across the listing, and that will solve this problem. Okay. But first, before you allocate, what I would recommend to do is think about, okay, so what information here is most important to the least important? If you have it in front of you, you know that. But anyway, if you speak about allocations, then, okay, let's put this to the headline. Let's put this to the headline. Let's put this to the bullet 1. Let's put this to the, whatever, But basically, you're already allocating useful information across the listing, because you don't need to say something you show on images on the bullet point and vice versa, right? But you don't want to be also, because you have this issue always with your product. You always have this issue. What should I write on my bullet point, right? What should I write? What should I write? And for this, you need to understand what kind of information pieces are important for your product or for your customer, right? And what is that they interested to know about when it comes to your product? How can you make them go like, aha, oh, really? I didn't know. Oh, really? Oh, I need to pay attention to that, And literally, we have tested the way. I'm not. We literally have done it this way. There was one wooden product, and I told this my German guy that, why don't you just put the first bullet that, hey guys, if you want to buy this product, then why don't you just make sure it's made from this material, because if you read bad reviews, then this is the thing that always going to be, you will have a problem with this. We will have a problem with this axe, explaining the problem. And the second bullet point, make sure, buying this product, you always have to make sure this, and then you describe the problem, right? And on the same time, on your images, you're showing that you have that, this problem is fixed for you, it's done, right? And so what's been working for us is that we don't try to do those fancy sentences anymore. Like, people want real stuff. Like, people hate about someone is trying to convince them to buy. People want real stuff, real help, real honest approach, and smart. They want smart purchase decision. They want to make the decision smart. And you made all this research now, right? So why don't you give it to them, right? Now, your problem is that if you have all this information, you need to convey that information into the 7 images, 5 bullets, headline, and description, right? So how do you allocate this information? That's the question, right? So if you don't write out, what are these factors that makes them to make smart purchase decision, and what are these comparison elements they need to know, then we lose, maybe. let's say you buy a cell phone. Like one guy doesn't say anything about storage space, how much gigs you have on a cell phone. Would you buy that cell phone? No, you wouldn't buy that cell phone, right? You want to know how much storage space there is. So think from your Amazon listing the same perspective. Anyone, is this useful so far? Is it useful? Is it understandable?
Yes, it is useful. I wanna share one win.
Yes, cool. Go ahead.
Okay. For example, I did a comparison picture to my listing, and it works very well. My conversions are, I don't know, up to 10% maybe. It is same thing. I gave some features to my clients, and yes.
I'm happy, and people are comparison machines, and they are, in my opinion, like at least in my opinion, and the data we have is that they just sick of you selling. They want fast comparison and value, like and fast smart purchase decision. They don't want to sit around and analyze things. So if we're gonna help our customers to analyze quickly and give them information which will make them to even reconsider buying that product, or giving them information that will give them smart purchase decision information, then obviously they like us. They go to the and we will make them information dependent. Like if you are speaking about certain material, and you are telling them that you can go read yourself if you don't want to, like all these bad reviews from competitors, then and you don't have that bad material, and you say them that you make sure that product doesn't have that material, and if your competitor is not saying anything about that material, do you think that they will buy from that guy? I don't know. So anyway, that's about the blueprint. So if nobody doesn't know what the comparison image was we spoke about last time, then let me walk this through quickly again. This is really simple. But anyway, as you see here on this table, useful information table, because you already have down here as well, like how we are better than competitors. Just write the sentences here. And now, like let's say you wrote here that whatever, like we are better for material, la 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 la, and you can already tackle this. Like let's put all this to the second image, and let's put also all this what people need to know to compare your product to others. Let's put this to the second image. Let's create image like this. There's 3 columns, and all these must-have features like 5G, 64 gigs, waterproof, la la. We have that. Everyone else has that. This is the standard you want to have. You don't want to have less than this standard. This is the best standard right now on the market, right? And then what is that you have better? What you have, but the others don't, right? And then make this as an image, put it as a second or seventh image, and believe me, guys, it works. So testing it so many times, it works. It's just crazy. And if you don't have that, then make it, Then like when next time you're going to reorder, like make this blueprint, and next time you're going to reorder, just improve your product. This is one of the biggest mistakes I have done in the past, that we were always chasing these new products, like always chasing these new products, and just again, like old products were dying. We could improve the old products and release new versions of the old products, and it's so much more effective than hunting a new product actually. And so yeah, I mean, like if you don't have a product on Amazon right now, this blueprint, this research, you must do that. Don't send a penny to these Chinese before you do that, right? Okay, can you promise me? You don't send a penny. Okay, so anyway, like I said, this system will help you to allocate useful information around your listing, and you need to allocate this information, and you need to know how and where and why, and so think about this. What else? I think that it's also important for you to understand, if you have all this useful information here, what is needed for a customer to make smart decision, and also, of course, to compare your product to others, then as I said, your problem is to allocate this information around the images, bullets, and headline, But the second problem you have is what kind of information is more important than other, right? What is my problematics best for what problems more important than best for occasions, or what, right? Like, what is important for my customer to know first? Because, as you know, when they enter the listing, they start either watching your images from top down or they go from bottom up. Like, usually they don't start like from the middle. And the same thing with bullets, like if they go from top down and bottom up. So first bullet is more important than second bullet. And so you need to think of where do you allocate your useful information on listing. And so that's why you kind of want to think again, can you see the Amazon right now on your screen? Do you see Amazon on your screen? All right. So let me ask you a question. Is your product like features driven, benefit driven, or taste driven? And this is something that you can use for categorizing your product. Like, because you need to know what drives your customer, right? So what is the main driver of your customer? Is it the benefits? Is it the features? Is it both benefits and features? Or is it also taste? Or both taste, benefits, and feature? Let me give you examples. So, yeah, just stupid example, but if you look at these products here, then like, what is the main driver for these products? Is it taste, benefits, or features? I think that, in my opinion, it's benefits, like benefits, and of course, I don't know about taste. I mean, there's nothing design-wise. They don't care about design-wise, right? They don't care how many cards or what kind of elements are in the boxes. They care about how they're gonna spend some time together, right? People are caring about benefits, like how this thing will make them feel when they buy that product, right? It's really benefit-driven product, right? So, and it's easy. It's not easy to understand product. It's not easy to understand product. So I always tell to my employees that there's easy to understand product and hard to understand product. This is actually hard to understand product and benefits driven. Let's look some opposite way around. Like, so now we see easy to understand product and taste driven. It really is taste driven. Of course, it is a little bit feature driven as well. Maybe it's different materials, which is better than others, but it's mostly taste driven product. If you have a taste driven product, I recommend not to go with 100% taste driven product. This is so much taste driven product. It's crazy to know exactly what people want to buy and how to compete in that niche, right? Most of the products, though, are benefit and feature driven products. Backpack, let's take backpack. This is 100% like feature and benefits driven product. It's also like of course, taste driven. Like, there's also taste is playing a game here, like pretty huge one. But then again, you see, even if you know that, like, is my product, it's easy to understand product. Everybody knows what backpack is. Now you need to think, is it taste driven, benefits driven, or features driven? So why do you need to think like that? Why do you have to think like that? Okay, so let's say you're selling backpack like this one here, for example, this green one here, right? Obviously, it's a military backpack, right? So there's not so much taste here anymore. You eliminated taste factor 100% already. So, okay, so it's more about features and benefits. What this backpack can do for you, benefits, and features, materials, pockets, stuff like that, right? Double stitches, all this stuff, right? So if you know what is the type of customer you have, what is that they're looking for, and how to categorize your product, you are more able to influence and choose what kind of information is more important to that product. Obviously, it's extremely important to that kind of guy who buys that product that this product is durable, right? Obviously, you can tell me that durability is one of the most important factors for that product. I'm pretty sure if you do the research, right? And so now you know that you put everything everything that is related to being durable to the top on your list, right? You need to convey that information to your customers first. So you put it probably on top of the images and on top of the bullet points if you need to, right? So let's take another product here, like this one here. It's a woman's laptop bag, probably, right? So I don't know, like pretty much trace through. Okay, let's not go into women's stuff. I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, so anyway, there's different usability. So anyway, you need to know what drives your purchase decisions for your customer and how they are comparing your product to others, because they are comparing your product to others. You want it or not, and they want useful information to make smart decisions. So now it's up to you to understand what kind of useful information they like more, and what kind of useful information they want less, right? You need to prioritize, and that's why you're doing this blueprint, because you have to know your customer. And Amazon is an amazing place to do the blueprint. It's amazing. It's just you can find out so much. The problem is that everybody is lazy as hell. They don't want to do that, but just sitting 2 hours and doing and trying to fill this blueprint will save you so much money and so much frustrations and so many problems that I don't know what to say. So anyway, so that's about it. So yeah, I mean, that's my presentation for you for today.